How about right after the 2007 NHL draft ended? Related, how 2008 draft shaped NHL. Complete NHL draft coverage. We felt that we had to find that center iceman, said Jay Feaster, the Lightning general manager at the time. We still had Vincent LeCavalier, but we had traded Brad Richards at the 2008 NHL trade deadline. Having a player that we thought could be a franchise player at that point and having him at that position, we were focused on that very, very early. The Lightning famously unveiled a multi-platform advertising campaign called Stamkos to introduce the Tampa region to the young center not long after winning the 2008 NHL draft lottery. What Lightning fans have seen intense from Stamkos has been an elite goal scorer who has won the Morris Rocket Richard Trophy twice and scored at least 20 goals 9 times, including this, when he finished with 86 points, 27 goals, 59 assists. Stamkos has suffered through catastrophic injuries that has caused him to miss an extended period of time. Feaster, the Lightning's executive director of community hockey development, said in January. This year he's healthy, and what I've seen this year is how much better he makes other players who play with him. I look at it from the context of Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point. When Kucherov is with him, he's lights out. Then, Coach John Cooper changes it up and he puts Point with him and Point lights it up. I think that goes a little under the radar for Stamkos. You don't necessarily recognize that. You see his point totals, but he's actually making the players that play with him better. Not every player picked that weekend in Ottawa has reached lofty status. With 10 years of hindsight, how would that draft go if the same players were made available today? Note players listed with teams that drafted them. Original draft position in parenthesis 1. Steven Stamkos, c. Tampa Bay Lightning. 1 Stamkos, 28, leads all players from his draft class with 668 points, and his 348 goals are second to Washington Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin. 444 among all players since the 2008-09. Stamkos scored 60 goals in 2011-12, the most by any player in a since 2007-08.2. Drew Doughty, D. Los Angeles Kings. 2 Doughty, 28, helped the Kings win the Stanley Cup in 2012 and 2014. He's a Norris Trophy finalist for the 4th time and won the award in 2016. Doughty has played 770 games, the most of any player selected in 2008. His 422 points, 102 goals, 320 assists are second to Erik Karlsson among defensemen in his draft class. 3. Erik Karlsson, D. Ottawa Senators. 15 Karlsson, 28, leads defensemen and is second among all players drafted in 2008 with 518 points, 126 goals, 392 assists. He's won the Norris Trophy twice, 2012, 2015, and led defensemen in scoring 4 times. His 82 points in 2015-16 are the most by a defenseman since 1995-96, when Brian Leetch of the New York Rangers had 85 points and Ray Burke of the Boston Bruins had 82.4. Roman Josi, D. Nashville Predators. 38 Josi, 28, is 4th among 2008 defensemen with 78 goals and 5th with 292 points, and his 0.61 points per game average is second to Karlsson 0.83 among defensemen. Josi is one of 2 NHL defensemen with at least 12 goals and 40 points in each of the past 5. Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks is the other. 5. Braden Holtby, G. Washington Capitals. 93 Holtby, 28, leads goalies drafted in 2008 in wins 225 and shutouts 32. His 188 wins since 2013-14 lead all NHL goalies. He's also been a big game player. Holtby is 4th with a 2.04 goals against average and .929 save percentage in 82 Stanley Cup playoff games since 2008-09, minimum 10 games played. He had a 2.16 GAA and .922 save percentage in 23 games to help the Capitals win the Cup. This video, how Braden Holtby made that big save in Game 26. John Carlson, D. Washington Capitals. 27 Carlson, 28, led defenseman in scoring during the regular 68 points and playoffs 20 points. He's the 3rd player to do that since the 2001-02, along with Nicklas Lidstrom of the Detroit Red Wings in 2001-02 and Chris Letang of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2012-13. His 333.77 goals, 256 assists are fourth among defensemen drafted in 2008.7. Alex Pietrangelo, D. St. Louis Blues. For Pietrangelo, 28, is third among defensemen drafted in 2008 in goals 80 and points 357. He set personal NHL highs with 15 goals and 54 points this, and his 5-game winning goals tied him for first among all defensemen. He also played in his first NHL All-Star game this. 8. Josh Bailey, RW, New York Islanders. 9 Bailey, 28, had NHL career highs in goals 18 and points 71 this, and he played in the NHL All-Star game for the first time. His 715 games played are second among players drafted in 2008, and HES sixth with 377 points, 124 goals, 253 assists. 9. Jordan Eberle, C. Edmonton Oilers. 22 Eberle, 28, was traded to the Islanders on June 22 and scored 25 goals this, the fourth time in 8's HES scored that many. His 190 goals are second to Stamkos among players picked in 2008, and his 441 points are third behind Stamkos and Carlson. 10. Cam Atkinson, RW, Columbus Blue Jackets. 157 Atkinson, 29, is third among players drafted in 2008 with 145 goals. He scored 24 goals this, his fifth straight with at least 20 HES, one of 20 NHL players with at least 20 goals in each of the past 5s. His 35 goals in 2016-17 are the most by a player picked in 2008 not named Stamkos. 11. Adam Henrique, C. New Jersey Devils. 82 Henrique, 28, was third in voting for the Calder Trophy in 2011-12 when he finished third among NHL rookies with 51.16 goals, 35 assists, and tied for the NHL lead with 4 shorthanded goals. He was traded to the Anaheim Ducks on November 30 and tied for second on the team with 20 goals in 57 games. He's tied for fourth among players drafted in 2008 with 142 goals, and is first with 14 shorthanded goals. 12. Jake Allen, G. St. Louis Blues. 34 Allen, 27, has won at least 20 games in each of the past 4s, and has helped the Blues reach the Stanley Cup playoffs 3 times. He slumped this, but from 2014-15 to 2016-17 he was one of 6 goaltenders with at least 22 wins, a 2.42 GAA and .913 save percentage, all 3s. Derek Stepan, C. New York Rangers. 51 Stepan, who turns 28 on Monday, was traded to the Arizona Coyotes on June 23 after 7s with the Rangers. He was second on the Coyotes with 56 points, 14 goals, 42 assists, his 5th straight 50-point. Stepan is one of 22 NHL players, and the only forward from the 2008 draft class, with at least 50 points in each of the past 5s. His 416 points, 142 goals, 274 assists are 5th among players picked in 2008.14. Jared Spurgeon, D. New York Islanders. 156 Spurgeon, 28, was drafted by the Islanders in the 6th round but never signed with them. He became an unrestricted free agent after 5s with Spokane of the Western Hockey League, signed with the Minnesota Wild on September 23, 2010, and became a regular during the 2010-11. Spurgeon's 56 goals are 7th among defensemen drafted in 2008, and his 205 points are 10th. 15. Justin Schultz, D. Anaheim Ducks. 43 Schultz, 27, was selected by the Ducks in the 2nd round, but after 3s at the University of Wisconsin, he left college, became an unrestricted free agent and signed with the Oilers on July 1, 2012. He was traded to the Penguins on February 27, 2016, and helped them win the Stanley Cup. Schultz had his best offensive in the NHL in 2016-17, 51 points, 12 goals, 39 assists, and helped the Penguins win the Cup again. Video, Pitapfi, GM3, Malkin earns milestone on Schultz PPG 16. Taylor Myers, D. Buffalo Sabres. 12 Myers, 28, won the Calder Trophy in 2010 after finishing 3rd among NHL rookies with 48 points, 11 goals, 37 assists. He hasn't scored at that level since being traded to the Winnipeg Jets on February 11, 2015, he's become a key shutdown defenseman and played a significant role in the Jets reaching the Western Conference Final this. 17. Jake Gardiner, D. Anaheim Ducks 17. Gardiner, 27, was shifted from forward to defenseman in his draft year and did well enough that the Ducks selected him in the first round. He never played for them, though the Ducks traded him to the Toronto Maple Leafs on February 9, 2011. He had an NHL career-best 52 points, 5 goals, 47 assists this, and his 215 points, 42 goals, 173 assists as 7th among defensemen drafted in 2008.18. Gustav Nyquist, RW, Detroit Red Wings 121. Nyquist, 28, had at least 40 points for the 5th straight in 2017-18, and his 21 goals were his most since he scored 27 in 2014-15. His 109 goals are tied for 8th among players picked in 2008.19. Mikkel Bodka, LW, Arizona Coyotes 8. Bodka, 28, has provided solid secondary scoring for the Coyotes, Colorado Avalanche and Sharks for tens. His best was 2013-14 with the Coyotes, when he had 51 points, 19 goals, 32 assists in 82 games. His 618 games played are 6th among 2008 draft picks, and his 288 points, 109 goals, 179 assists are 11th.20. Travis Hamonic, D. New York Islanders 53. Hamonic, 27, has been a solid, physical presence for 8th with the Islanders, who selected him in the second round, and the Calgary Flames, who acquired him in a trade June 24. He's 7th in hits 942 and 4th in blocked shots 1007 among defensemen drafted in 2008.21. TJ Brody, D. Calgary Flames 114. Brody, 28, had 32 points, 4 goals, 28 assists this, his 5th straight with at least 30 points. He's been a solid top 4 defenseman for the past 5s, and his 213 points, 35 goals, 178 assists are 8th among defensemen picked in 2008.22. Michael Del Zotto, D. New York Rangers 20. Del Zotto, 27, was a big point producer early in his NHL career, scoring 21 goals in his first 3s with the Rangers. His best offensive since then was 2014-15 with the Philadelphia Flyers when he had 32 points, 10 goals, 22 assists. Del Zotto had 22 points, 6 goals, 16 assists with the Vancouver Canucks this. His 211 points, 53 goals, 158 assists are 9th among defensemen in his draft class. .23. Marco Scandella, D. Minnesota Wild 55. Scandella, 28, was traded to the Sabres on June 30 after 7s with the Wild. He was 2nd among Buffalo defensemen with 22 points, 5 goals, 17 assists, and was the only Sabres defenseman to play 82 games. .24. Luka Sabisa, D. Philadelphia Flyers 19. Sabisa, 28, made the Flyers the after being drafted, then was traded to the Ducks on June 26, 2009. He's also played for the Canucks and was selected by the Vegas Golden Knights during the 2017 NHL expansion draft. Injuries limited him to 30 games this, but he averaged 16.07 in 12 games during the postseason to help Vegas reach the Stanley Cup Final. .25. Zach Bogosian, D. Atlanta Thrashers 3. Bogosian, 27, has been a solid contributor with the Thrashers, Jets and Sabres when healthy, but that's been rare. He's played more than 70 games twice in 10s, and not at all since 2010-11. A hip injury limited him to 18 games this. His 49 goals are 9th among defensemen picked in 2008. Video, Buffett MTL, Bogosian hammers OT winner off iron and in 26. Colin Wilson, C. Nashville Predators 7. Wilson, 28, reached double figures in goals 5 times in 8s with the Predators, including an NHL career-high 20 in 2014-15. He was traded to the Avalanche on July 1 and had 18 points, 6 goals, 12 assists in 56 games this. His 255 points, 101 goals, 154 assists are 9th among forwards drafted in 2008.27. Matt Martin, LW, New York Islanders 148. Martin, 29, has scored 10 goals once, in 2015-16, but has been among the most physical players in the NHL during his 9s with the Islanders and Maple Leafs. He has the 3 highest single-season hits totals since the stat was first recorded in 2002-03, topped by 382 in 2014-15. His career average of 4.3 hits per game leads all NHL players who've played 300 or more games. 0.28. Taylor Ennis, LW, Buffalo Sabres 26. Ennis, 28, scored at least 20 goals 3 times in fives between 2010-11 and 2014-15. Injuries have slowed him the past threes, including this with the Wild, who acquired him in a trade with the Sabres on June 30. His 105 goals are 10th among players drafted in 2008.29. Zach Smith, LW, Ottawa Senators 79. Smith, 30, was 2 months shy of his 20th birthday when the Senators selected him in the third round in 2008. He became an NHL regular in 2011-12, and had his best offensive in 2016 with 36 points, 25 goals, 11 assists. 0.30. Jason Demers, D. San Jose Sharks 186. Demers, 30, has been a dependable two-way presence for 9 NHLs with the Sharks, Dallas Stars, Florida Panthers and Coyotes. His 573 games are 6th among defensemen drafted in 2008, missing first-round picks: Luke Shen, number 5, Toronto Maple Leafs Nikita Filatov, number 6, Columbus Blue Jackets Cody Hodgson, number 10, Vancouver Canucks Kyle Beach, number 11, Chicago Blackhawks Colton Teubert, number 13, Los Angeles Kings Zach Boychuk, number 14, Carolina Hurricanes Joe Colburn, number 16, Boston Bruins Chet Pickard, number 18, Nashville Predators Anton Gustafsson, number 21, Washington Capitals Tyler Kuma, number 23, Minnesota Wild Matthias Tedenby, number 24, New Jersey Devils Greg Nemes, number 25, Calgary Flames Victor Tikhonov, number 28, Phoenix Coyotes Dalton LeVay, number 29, Atlanta Thrashers Tom McCollum, number 30, Detroit Red Wings